getting that free A5 media stencil worth £9.99. What you got there? I'm going to take this back.
Now, the thing is, Nick, obviously works with so many different things, like of course your paint for your fabric. I love that. See, Nick is good because it's neat and tidy. If I'd done that, no way would it be neat and tidy.
Brilliant though, isn't it?
The paint ever, doesn't that look effective on a t-shirt? So use your stencils on t-shirts. You know, we'll just show a few from each pile, because there's that many cards. Honestly, behind here there's that many finished samples, and you have got some seriously cool designs, and I'm going to pop them away so we show different ones every time. I love it because there's so many ways of layering, there's so many ways of colouring them in, so many different uses. Oh, the lips of mine. I love that one, love. And that's using the stencil again. Look at that. See, isn't it fabulous?
Oh, there's
Can we show some of the little leaves as well?
Show some of these as well.
Yeah,
the next
they're
one.
the beautiful leaves.
These are gorgeous.
See, they're the leaves as well. So there's so
look
many.
at this one. Look at that one.
Cool?
Yeah, let me take those from you, Leonie.
Isn't that cool? And if we just duck down, thank you, Janice. Isn't that just beautiful? I love that, because look, that is literally, can you see? It's literally been inlaid in the actual wood. It's just amazing.
Look at that one.
Absolutely amazing.
I think,
Stunning, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely is. It's beautiful, and it can be yours as well if you pop it into your basket. And because it's available on Flexi Buy Well, it makes it affordable. Now, I do need to remind you of the retro banner die. We've been very busy for this. Oh my word. 50% of the stock has gone already of that, 50%, so we're having a busy show. Please do watch all of the great demonstrations from Leonie, but have an eye on that website if you've got it open, so you can add items to your basket and check on out rather than missing out. We will, of course, update you if we are close to limited stock on anything, just so you can make that decision. 10% on the big bundle, that's already gone. 10% is already gone. Right, as promised at the start of the show and the title of the show, it's now time to let Leonie loose.
Why, thank you very much, my dear. I'm just going to... I must admit, I know that I've used the gel plate a lot, but it's my favourite. And the thing is, this range goes so well with the gel plate. So let's start building up. Now, my gel plate's not clean. It's actually quite mucky at the minute, but that isn't a big deal. We're still able, sorry, I got hair in my eye. We're still able to work on it. So we're going to go with the gel plate as is. So first of all, I'm going to be using the stamps. So I want to use these not for actually stamping mainly, but for creating texture, for creating layers. So our first aim is going to be creating some layers. If you've never used gel plate before, and I know a lot of you who watch my shows will definitely see me use the gel plate, because I do use the gel plate a lot, but I have had requests, believe it or not, for people who've said, will you show us the gel plate from the beginning, because it's one of those things that it can be a little bit like, oh my word, I have no idea what to do with it. First of all, I'm just loading up the paint. I'm using a little bit of yellow and a little bit of turquoise there. Now, when you're actually loading your gel plate, don't put too much paint on. If you put too much paint, then it just comes over the side, you waste a lot of paint, and you won't get a really good print. I'm actually using, you see I've got some beautiful pearlescent papers. I thought I'd mix it up, use a bit of pearlescent paper for a change. So pop that on the side. So pop a few dollops of paint there. I have got a dirty gel plate. Please never stress about cleaning your gel plate. It's not needed. See, I've gone too heavy there. Can you see I've got yellow paint down the side? So I have put too much paint on. But that's okay. We can get rid of that. It's not a big deal. When you're putting your paint on, obviously, don't overdo it. Can you see what I'm doing? Because what I've done is popped it on, but I've lifted it off as well. If you put too much paint on, it's really easy to lift it off, so never panic. Just never panic about gel plates. Cleaning your brayer, if you've got paper at the side, you'll be able to clean your brayer on your paper, which means you're going to get another print on there. I know I do that all the time, and I apologise if you've heard me 50 times tell you that. But for people who are new, they won't have heard me, so I have to repeat myself. Okay, so I'm going to ink this stamp up. Now, I'm inking it up just for interest. I like doing this because then you're getting different colours. Now that stamp is wow, 20% of stock has gone. Is that the retro one as well? Wow, the retro banner, 20% of stock has gone. If you do want this, you do need to be checking out your baskets. Remember the fabulous die that we've got as well. Right, so all I'm doing is squidging this in. Now, I'm not re-inking it every time because I don't need to. What you can do, because you're picking up paint on that, so what you can actually do, the scrap piece of paper that you've got by your side, just squidge it down, and look, you're getting rid of the paint, but you're also obviously going to be putting another print on there, so it can look really interesting. I quite like this because that bit, that looks really interesting. So normally we go for this bit, don't we? We go for the, you know, more of that side. But actually on your gel plate, that side looks really, really interesting. So popping that down, and you can just place it wherever you want it. So you can you can overlay the image, which can look really cool. You can bend the stamp so you don't have to go in with the full stamp, which again looks really, really effective. Never panic about it drying, because your paint, you can pick up the paint even if it's dried on your gel plate. So I'm happy with that. Again, just going to squidge that down, and that's already created a really nice little pattern there, which I like. So pop that to one side. Now to clean your stamps, again, I apologise, you've seen me do this 50 million times as well, but spritz it with water, don't use your baby wipes, and get your cloth, and then you can just rub that over Bob's your uncle. So that'll be absolutely fine. Got the paint off, superb. That banner stamp is ridiculously busy. If you want it, please, please, please check your baskets out. It is very, very busy. Okay, so I'm then going to take, just because I can, it's become a bit of a favourite. I love this stamp. So I'm going to take that stamp now. Now that is off the wonderful leaves with the trees, and it's got all sorts on there. I should use one of the, oh no, I'm just going to stick to this one. So what I'm doing, I'm putting some really nice bright pink paint on my tray, on my mat, my glass mat, and just going over. Again, cleaning my brayer on another piece of paper next to me. And then what I'm going to do, I don't want the actual stalk. All I want, or the trunk, all I want is that bit. So literally now, wow, this is busy. 10% of this has now gone. So anything you want, please check your baskets out. 10%, this is brand new from our Nick, and 10% of the stock has gone. I'm really chuffed. Nick will be really chuffed. Okay, just starting to layer that down. I'm not going for full images, just tiny prints is fine. Now, okay, so I'm happy with that. Let's see where we're at with this one. Again, to clean your stamp, I'm just going on that bit of paper, printing on that bit of paper, seeing what I get, and that'll be fine. So now let's have a little look-see. So when you're doing your print, you'll notice on this, part of that is still quite wet and part of this is quite dry. So if I took a print now, this bit would lift off really easily, whereas this bit maybe not so. What I would normally do is allow that to dry properly, because I'm going to lift it with a second generation paint. So I'm going to do that at home. Let it dry properly. I'm going to put my paint on, but I'm going to try and avoid that section. So it might not be a great print, but by the time I've actually put my paint on, it might have dried enough anyway. To be fair, with things like this, again, I know I keep saying don't panic, but it's all about the, you know, just experimenting, just seeing what you're going to get. So if I just take this now, that bit's still wet, so I'm starting putting the paint on. I'm going for a lighter paint that I'm just going to brayer over the top. Okay, I'll need a little bit more. So your lighter paint brayered over the top will help you lift the paint that's already on there. So that's what I'm doing this time. Okay, now I'm going to go over that quickly so I hopefully don't lift it. See, you don't really want to do that because you'll lift off that print. I'm telling you what not to do whilst doing it. But you could lift off that bottom print, or you could smudge it. So I'm putting my, now I never use pearlescent paper, but I thought, you know what, let's have a little change. let's have pearlescent papers. So really sticking these 2 layers together. So you're aiming for that bottom layer and you're aiming for the wet paint that I've just put on. And look at that, it's lifted. Some of it's left, but look at that print. Is that not just so cool? I love it on pearlescent because you will get the pearlescent sheen still coming through. You've got a good print still left on there. There's no way we're leaving that. So what I will do is do a second print on that one. So if I put another layer of paint on, and let's see what we get, shall we? So again, just popping that over the top. Like so. Not putting enough paint. I'm being quite tight with my paint today. There we go. Okay, Margaret's asked what gel plate I'm using. I can't remember the name. It's the one that Clarity do. So it is on our website. If you look shop by brand for Clarity, and you'll find it. I think it's the jelly plate, but I do get mixed up, Margaret. Honestly, once I've thrown away the packaging, that's it. It's like I throw away part of my brain with the packaging, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's the one that our Barb does. Look at that print. See, I adore prints like that. I just think they are so cool. So much going on there. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Let's move that to one side. Let's get this one back in. So we've got so many, and I've still got paint on that brayer. When you're storing your brayer, always put your brayers facing up, otherwise it is likely to stick to your surfaces. The paint on there, it's paint, so what I'm going to do, rather than pick it up with my and there's not much paint left, I haven't got a lot of paint at all on there, rather than pick it up with my my rice paper, just getting rid of it with my thingy, with my cloth. Okay, so happy with that. So let's start over stamping. Now remember, these stamps, absolutely beautiful. There's so much detail with these. So if I get my flower again, or the leaf, or the tree, however you want it to be. Decisions. I think I'm going to go like this. Okay, so now it's up to you. I'm going to just print on here. I'm not going to put it into, because of time today, faffing, I'm not going to put it into my actual art journal. I put these into art journals, but these work beautifully for cards. You know, don't just think you have to stick with, oops-a-days, that's because I've been using it dirtily. Don't just think you have to use your journals. You don't, just because I do all the time. It is completely up to you what you use them for. So get your first print. And what I was saying about colouring in, if you then take, so let's see, what shall I colour in with today? Let's see if these pens are working. I must admit, we've been using my pens a bit heavily, and I'm picking it up with my ink. Right, now, I'm just colouring in. Now, I'm not being careful, okay? So just not really worrying about the lines. And this is one of my Jane Davenport pens. They are lovely, these. The main pens I use these days are my Jane Davenport and Posca's. But this is lovely. It's a paint pen, you see. Now, can you see? I'm not really worried about my lines. So it means I don't have to be too careful. Like this. So just go around. As so. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Like this. Smash him. And then what you do is, now 20% of the stock of the stamps has gone. 20% of the stamps. Wow, okay. If you want to get hold of them, you know what to do. Please check your baskets out. Look, mate, it's a fabulous print if you haven't cleaned your stamp. And then ink it back up again. Now, if this is dry, you could then emboss it, which would look really cool. But I might be able to emboss it, because it might not stick on absolutely everything. Look, so I'm just hovering over and then restamp. So when you restamp, it really makes that image crisp. So it means you don't have to be too fussy, you know, on the colouring in, because sometimes the fussiness of colouring in can take us ages. I mean, it's fun, I love it, but it's a nice way of not being too fussy. Let me just get another piece of paper. Right, fingers crossed with embossing powder, yes, that it hasn't stuck to absolutely everything. Just get rid of that. like so, and then we'll emboss that image. I like this because it'll be really rich. So you've got the colour behind, but then you'll have that really nice tree or flower. I see flower, but then you'll have that image just pop. Shall we play a game, Sandro? Shall we send out the prints that I make in the hour? Okay, we need a question then. It is up to you. So whoever answers Sandro's question, which he'll think of in a few moments' time, no pressure, whoever answers his question will send out the prints that I do. So I won't put them into my art journal, we'll send them out instead as a celebration of Nick's fabulous work. Right, so then I want to pop a few of the leaves. So what I'm going to do, I want to put a little bit of purple, sorry, and then a little bit of the black on there as well. So just get those two-tone, like so. It's a really nice design, is this. There we go. Yeah, let's do retro. Right, we want the most retro piece of clothing you own or that you have owned. But, I mean, this is retro now. So